tonight an amazing guest. He's a change maker, he's a global leader, he's an impactful representative of his people. Many years of impact in the private sector, having worked in various organizations in different capacity. He was working in Connaught for many years, then went on to work for Ohando, and the people called him to come and represent them and serve them. The people of Shomolu constituency in Lagos State, and he has represented them on his fourth term now with the Lagos State House of Assembly after many years of service in the private sector. Our guest today, I'm not going to mention his name. Watch this video first to know who we have on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Honorable Rotimi Olowo, is with us. Honorable, well done. Thank you for joining us this evening. Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, my brother. Thank you. God bless you.
Joining me to speak and interrogate with Honorable Olowo is another fantastic young Nigerian, all the way from London, United Kingdom. He was secretary for the Lagos State Youth Council, Mr. Riliwan Tinubu Ayodeji. Riliwan, good to see you in London. How's it going over there?
I'm fine.
Excellent, thank you. I also have with me a young student all the way from Lagos here in Nigeria, Mr. Jeremiah Babala. Jeremiah, thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good, sir. Good evening. Thank you.
Excellent. So right now, Honorable, you are a phenomenal grassrooter. At the same time, you're also an intellectual who, you know how to abase and to abound. It's your fourth time in the House of Assembly. What has been your secret so far?
Thank you very much, Israel. As I'm speaking with you, I appreciate the fact that I'm in my car.
Yes,
one of our residents was arrested about 2 days ago, no, yesterday, and I need to be there, and I came myself. As I'm speaking with you, I am at Adeniji Adele police station. That is the secret. You have to be physical.
Wow.
You have to be alive to your responsibilities. Just like what Max Weber said, you talk about perception and meaning. If you don't understand the need of your people, you will not be able to appreciate what their needs are. You need to empathize and not sympathize. I don't empathize, I don't sympathize with people. I empathize. I put myself in their shoes. I sit down with them. I listen to them. I drink with them. I go to Shomolu almost on a daily basis to fraternize with them. They see me. When they have parents with needs, I come. The one I think I have resources to tackle immediately, I will tackle. The one that bothers on using my connection and influence to resolve, I will resolve. The secret is feasibility and empathy.
And I heard that you come, you walk on the street, and you drink with them in the bar, you pay for their drink, and you feel like a normal person. Whereas in some climes, you see people with ADCs and CSOs and all the securities and gadgets. How have you remained humble despite the affluence and the opportunities and knowledge?
I don't have security. Because when you have security in your environment where people voted for you, you make them to run away from you. In as much as I've done my bit, my security are the people that voted for me. So I'm always in their midst. I want them to feel me, and I feel them. It borders on what you have done and what you continue to do. In as much as they have confidence in me to return me for the fourth time, I need to repose more confidence in them by fraternizing with them. I don't have many friends outside that circle. My constituency and my constituents, they are my people. Whether they are lowly or they are highly. As I'm speaking with you, you will see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing ordinary Ankara, and that's what I put on when I'm with them. I don't want to show any sign of affluence when I'm with them. I want them to feel me. I want them to see what I'm wearing. So that it's not that I put on jacquard or I put on a very expensive clothes, and when they see me, they feel inferior. I must be at their level. I must come to their level to understand them. I drink with them. I could have chosen to go to what's it called? All these big hotels to drink, but I will not go there. I want to drink what my people are drinking. I want to eat what they are eating. I want them to feel me. And that's why I'm very feasible. I walk around Shomolu. When I get to Shomolu, I park my car in the constituency office. And I trek from Monikpan to Bajulai without any security support. Because I know that the more they see me, the more they have confidence in me, and it's better for me. And that's what gave me that popularity, and that's what made teaming people followers to follow me. I have them in different strata. Is it the geologists? Is it the primary school children that I take them to school every morning and back, which I call free ride to school? They don't need to pay any money. I don't charge them, because my primary occupation is for the younger ones coming behind us to be able to learn one or two things from us. There must be a legacy they must follow. It's quite unfortunate that some politicians today, after they got into office, they become invisible. You won't see them around. I don't want to do that. I was the divisional manager of Ahondo before I joined. They called me to come and join, and I thought I could make the difference. But I'm making the difference, although at my own micro level. But I think if other people learn from me and they can cash into what I'm doing, I think this world will be great for all of us to live. I was born of poor parents, but I strive in life to be somebody. Then I should make my community to strive. At the time, I was washing car for a living. At the time, I was selling gala at Pangru bus stop. Then you see how many children like that today that have all it takes. They are very brilliant. All they need is a push. Somebody must support them. I must be there for them because I know my background. And today, I thank God for who I am. It's not my power, it's not my knowledge, but by the grace of Almighty God. So I need to establish the same thing, reciprocate and replicate the same thing in my community. And that's why I'm always with them.
Really one, I'm sure you have a question for the Honorable. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a plethora of questions, but I don't even know where to start from because like Honorable said at the beginning of the interview, he said he knows me very well. And I can equally say that I know him very well. Quickly, let me just say this. There was a time I was very used to Shomolu area. I don't know if Honorable could still remember this woman. There is one woman that normally sells catfish, along Shomolu. I can't remember the particular street. And at that time, I used to go to Shomolu. I was staying in Shomolu till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. sometimes before I go. And every day, one thing that caught my surprise at that time was that every now and then I see Honorable Olowo moving around. That was the day he came and sat beside me, and we're all marrying together. And the moment I left there, I asked somebody. I said, "Come, is this how this man does in this community?" They said, "Yes." Well, I told the person. I said, "This is the first time I'm seeing somebody, staying, within, the people who actually voted for him." And picking from what Honorable Olowo said, you said one of those things that you need to do to your people, especially when you are elected to represent them, is also for you to be visible and show empathy, which you have been able to show from onset that you have been elected. Now, capturing from what you have said, how do you think, managing the affairs of your people and as well as other legislative businesses, particularly on the areas of oversight, how do you think, you can actually, mix these two things together to ensure you deliver, the dividend of democracy, let me put it that way, to your people?
Thank you very much, Ayodeji. You appreciate the fact that we only sit 3 times in a week, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Wednesdays are for committee work. I'm the chairman of Committee on Finance. If there are issues that borders on committee, maybe there is a petition or I need to do my oversight, I do that on Wednesdays. Then on Friday is for your constituency engagement. So my own constituency engagement is just not only Friday. I go to Shomolu almost on a daily basis. If there are issues that borders on security, if there are issues that borders on even environment, just like flooding, when we look at our canal is blocked and we need to get it done, I have the numbers of relevant agencies and personnel. I will call them. And on Mondays and Tuesdays, after our sitting, I come to Shomolu Street. And I appreciate the fact that on Thursday we speak Yoruba. And many of us cannot speak good Yoruba. So legislative work on Wednesday, on Thursday is almost very small. It's not anything serious. So immediately we leave the House of Assembly, I go to Shomolu. I love Shomolu. I'm emotionally attached to Shomolu. But I'm not a small fry in legislative duties now because this is my 4th time. Even if I'm blockheaded, after 13 years, I should learn how to manage my time, manage my resources, and manage the people that I represent. And that's why they've never get tired of me. And on the floor, I represent them adequately. I'm very vocal. When there are contentious issues, I will head on, I will face it. I am not somebody that will just jettison the love I have for my constituency. If issues arise in Shomolu, I will represent them on the matter of urgent public importance, and I will seek the support of my colleague to get it resolved. So, in a nutshell, I've been able to manage my time. Legislative duties, I've never found wanting. Talking about oversight, I think this is the 4th or 5th committee I shared in the House. When I got in 2007, I was the chairman of the Committee on Tourism and Intergovernmental Affairs. After that, I moved to Works and Infrastructure. Anybody you see will tell you when I was in Works and Infrastructure, I visited all the ongoing projects in Lagos State. And the abandoned one too, I visited, I wrote my report, and I will push it to the executive. Then I became the chairman of the Committee on Budget and Economic Planning. I did my bit. Today, I'm the chairman Committee on Finance. And as I'm speaking with you, maybe in the next 1 or 2 days, after speaking, getting the concurrence of Mr. Speaker, I'm going to come on with a motion that talks about our stamp duty, that NIBBS is allegedly owing Lagos State over 4 trillion naira. And I'm looking for all avenues to get this money repatriated into our consolidated revenue account. That I'm coming with a motion on that. Maybe in the next 2 days when we resume, I will do that. So in a nutshell, I've been doing my bit and I'm able to manage between my constraints and the duty I'm supposed to do as a legislator.
Honorable, you talked about your sitting on Thursdays, and because it's a Yoruba sitting, a lot of people do not turn up. Does that defeat the purpose? And is there a value for that Yoruba session on Thursdays? The Yoruba session on Thursdays, the fact that a lot of people don't turn up for that, does that defeat the purpose in its entirety?
No. You see, you can appreciate the fact that there are some, I think we have 1 or 2 people that are not even Yorubas in the house. So Thursday is basically when we don't have serious business to do. But then we all sit on Thursday because Mr. Speaker made it compulsory for us to sit on Thursdays. It's part of the 180 days that will be accounted for at the end of our legislative years. So you have to sit on Thursdays. The Wednesdays and Fridays, they are counted as part of our sitting, but because there's a need for us to do what I call committee oversight. We do that Berkeley on Wednesdays. Then on Friday is community engagement. You need to be in your community. You need to look at the issues. You need to talk to CDS. You need to talk to CDCs. You need to talk to the unions. You need to talk to the League of Imams. You need to talk to the Christians so that you can balance it. And that's what we have been doing.
Honorable, let me go into some. I'm going to come back to you. I want to go into some very interesting area. Do you think our democracy is expensive, Honorable?
Sorry, come again. Israel.
Is our democracy expensive? That's my first question. I'm going to ask a two-in-one question. First is our democracy expensive? The second one is do our people, the citizens, do they wire our legislators and our representative and government to be corrupt with the kind of, if you look at the demands of the politicians, elected representative, and the revenue that is supposed to be the legal revenue from the representative? Do we have a system that actually promotes corruption based on the demand of the citizens on their representative? And also, is our parliament expensive?
To me, going by the fortunes of Nigeria as a nation, because you need to juxtapose that with our resources. As a nation, I think it is very, very expensive. We could have opted out for parliamentary system of government, where the representative as well will become part of the executive. The number of people that will represent us will not be as great as it is today. And I don't know why we are practicing multi-camera legislative structure. If you look at it, House of Rep and Senate, they are doing practically the same thing. So if you have a unicameral legislature, we'll be able to manage our resources. Like I'm saying, regionalism would have been the best as part of the region. We'll have only 1 or 2 representatives. Unlike Lagos State today, we have 40 honorable members. There are some states too, like Ogun State, we have 24 honorable members. It's very expensive. Our resources cannot carry that burden. If you look at the structure of the current budget of the federal government, bulk of the money is going to recurrent expenditure to the detriment of capital expenditure. Without securing more money into capital expenditure, we will not be able to develop this nation. Development borders on how much have we spent on capital expenditure. Look at Dubai today. As of 1976, Lagos was better than Dubai. But because bulk of the money we are spending is for salaries, is for emoluments, hence, it is very expensive. And if we continue this manner, it will take God to develop Nigeria. We are spending more money on recurrent expenditure to the detriment of capital expenditure. So it is very, very expensive.
What about the angle where do you think that the citizens themselves places elected representative in a compromising situation or encourages corruption with the kind of demand? So you'll be familiar with a citizen coming to you and saying they just got married, they want you to pay for their wedding, they want you to pay for their naming ceremony, and those kind of the culture of the citizens and the demand placed on elected office holders. Does that culture breed corruption? So I see all the good works that you are doing. I see all the bags of rice. I see all the stuff. And then you wonder, how are they able to do these things with the little, that they make? Does this put pressure on elected officials to begin to, look for other source of income?
I think the structure and the demand of our people basically is affecting office holders. There's no two ways about that. Some of them will concord lies to extort money from you. And the quality of the electorate is the quality of the office holders. The demand is great. At times, you have to do other things, probably from your private business to be able to complete what you are getting from the house. Going by our salary and our interest, no one of us can actually be able to meet the needs of our people. At times, I look at my businesses and I draw part of my profit to be able to complement what I'm doing. In a nutshell, our people had not made governance to be smooth and comfortable. They are very selfish. They will not talk about community-oriented issues. They will come to you with individual problems. As I'm speaking with you, I have more than about 12 or 13 people waiting on me for accommodation. And I keep telling them, if you go for accommodation, some of them that cannot pay for a 1-bedroom, you ask that he wants 2-bedroom flat. After paying the initial deposit, when it expires, how do I pay again? So the quality of the electorates are actually affected the thinking of an average politician. Many average politicians are corrupt because in order to meet the demands of their people. There's no way you cannot give what you don't have.
Okay. Jeremiah, you have a question for Honorable.
Yes, I do have questions for the Honorable, sir.
Okay, so take your first question.
Okay, yeah, well done, Honorable. So I would love to ask you a question in regards your thoughts or your opinions about how the relationship between the legislative arm of government and the executive arm of government should be. You know, in Nigeria, in the past administrations, we've seen a lot of cases. Some legislatures, some Senate or House of Rep leadership have made themselves to be an ally of the executive government, while some have decided to be contrary, and it has generated much controversies. So I would love to ask about your opinions or your thoughts about how the relationship between the legislative arm of government and the executive arm of government should be, sir.
Thank you very much, Jeremiah. We have 3 arms of government who work interdependently, but they must work together to deliver the dividend of democracy. Just like about probably a month or 2 months ago, the legislature got autonomy, financial autonomy, where they don't need to go to the executive before they can meet their requirements. Ditto the judiciary. It is compartmentalized into 3. But for us to be able to deliver the needs, aspirations, requirements, expectations of our people, we must work together. And again, apparently in Lagos State, we have the same party. If the party has some cardinal programs to be achieved, we won't say probably because we want to assert ourselves as the people they voted for. We want to tell the executive that we are in charge. We want to tell them that it is the law that we made that make them to be very, very relevant to the needs of the people. Then we are making a big mistake. There must be relationship, even in a formal setting. There must be informal relationship, and that is the sentiment that makes us to be able to deliver the needs of our people. The executive have their own functions. We have our own functions. And the judiciary has its own function as well. But we must work together to deliver the expectation of our people. It's not as if the executive is higher in ranking than the legislature, or we are better than the judiciary. We have our specific constitutional duties and functions. But because of the need to deliver, we must work interdependently and we must work jointly to develop that. So we, in a nutshell, I believe that relationship between the executive and the legislature goes a long way to determine the delivery of goodies to our people. But however, we have our functions. We have 3 cardinal functions. Number 1, we represent people. Those people must be well represented, and that's why we are voted for. Number 2, oversight function. You must see that there's value for money. All the projects or all the issues as contained in the budget must be fulfilled through oversight, because you must see that what they said they have done, did they do it, or they're just lying, or the money spent could be accounted for without some element of fraud. Then number 3, lawmaking. Many of the laws that the executive is making, even the budget is a law. Without us passing that law, those laws, the executive cannot function. So we must work together, but everybody knows his own functions, and we must do our function diligently without usurping the power of either the executive or the judiciary. That is how I think it should be.
Thank you.
Honorable sir, as we begin to wrap up, so that because we know that you are actually in Adeniji trying to sort out your constituent, I just have 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'll let my co-host ask 1 question each as well. First is, what is the vision of a greater Lagos to you? What does a greater Lagos? Governor Sanwo-Olu has said his vision is to build a greater Lagos. What does that mean to you as a member of the House of Assembly? And how is people like you and the House supporting the governor in making Lagos a 21st century megacity?
You can see about a week ago, or less than a week ago, about 3 days ago, we revised the budget because we appreciate the fact that COVID had made a mess of our economic postulations predicated on previous years. So we engaged the...
Well, I think Honorables has just lost the signal. I'm sure he's going to be able to click on the link and join us back so that we can continue the conversation. Please bear with us, and it would be able to connect. Please bear with us while we take the Honorable is going to come back now. Please bear with us. He will join us. So, Rewan, what did you take away from the conversation with the Honorable?
I took so many things away. Starting from the question I actually raised about visibility and empathy. He actually told us that he doesn't sympathize, but he empathizes with his people. And as we can see, he has told us that presently he's at Adeniji police station trying to sort 1 or 2 things. He has mentioned the issues of trying to ameliorate the sufferings of the people by providing welfare services, giving succor to the people as well. I think he has also mentioned 1 vital point that caught my attention about the issue of the stamp duty, which I think I need to still interrogate him further about. In relation to the question you actually raised, that how as the House, shared in the vision of the Greater Lagos by His Excellency Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. Well, for me, I want to assume that the issue of repatriation of the stamp duty mentioned, can be assumed to be one of those areas, where the House is actually supporting the executive, to ensure that the promises made to the people, are actually fulfilled, in this current dispensation. Because I feel if such money could be repatriated to Lagos State, 4 trillion naira for that matter, I know our governor, who is an action person, will do a lot, with that kind of amount of money in the coffers of the state. So I think he has actually said a lot, and I know they are still doing more to ensure that the Greater Lagos vision, gets to the average Lagosian.
Jeremiah, what is your takeaway from the Honorable as we expect him back on the show?
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. Actually, I've actually gained a lot from the time I've spent listening to the Honorable. I saw that he's a very vibrant and is a very vibrant politician who also has a spice of radical views. I can say that through the question I asked him and the way he was able to juxtapose it shows that he really has broad knowledge about how government operation should be. And also I learned a lot from the question you asked him about. I learned a lot from the question you asked him about the cost of running governance in Nigeria presently, where he made known his expressions that there are some things we should cut down, like we paying our capital expenditure more than the normal cost of running governance, and how we can cut down some things in order for the country to progress economically. It shows that the honorable is actually a way forward person. We have him back.
Okay, we have the honorable back. We would, Uncle, just because we know you're on the move, we'll take your final comment about the Greater Lagos.
About what, please?
About the Greater Lagos, your vision and how you are supporting Mr. Governor.
Yes, we have no choice than to support Governor, because our projection and our dream is for Lagos to be the first destination in Africa. We want to model Lagos like Dubai. We want to improve on tourism. We are talking about security today. You can know that Lagos is about the most secured state in Nigeria. We are talking about infrastructural development. We are talking about harnessing our water and air transportation, where we have a seamless integrated transportation system, just like what is in London. So that when you are in Lagos, as you are leaving a terminal, probably from Ikorodu, you make use of the water. Then when you get to somewhere like Lekki, you take a boat. You integrate. It is integrated. We are looking at about the blue line that will connect mainland and the island. Is on. Fashola started it. Then Ambode continued, and during our present governor, Mr. Governor, we want to complete that, to be able to reduce the travel time, to be able to reduce the stress on the road. And we are thinking of even collaborating with federal government so that all the rail line that goes from Agege to Ogun State, we will be using the same track for people. And when you see that a lot of people will leave the road, the road is overstretched, and we make linear movement every morning and evening. In the morning, we all head to island. In the evening, we come back to the mainland. It is the amount of pressure we have on our roads. That's why the roads are not as durable as we had expected. All these are part of the vision. Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu had the blueprint for 25 years. And the subsequent government must tap into that blueprint for Lagos of our dream. Lagos, my Lagos, your Lagos. So we are working very assiduously at ensuring that this present governor will be able to achieve bulk of those dreams of ours. Ours is that when you are coming from anywhere in the world and you here in Nigeria, your first point of destination must be Lagos, and that we are doing with the governor. We cannot renege, and we cannot go off the track, because we know that ultimately our children, our unborn grandchildren will benefit from this.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Rilwan, your final question. And then Jeremiah will get a final question.
I quite appreciate your effort, your concern, and all you have mentioned. But from your conversation, one particular area caught my attention, because for every government, there must be a revenue drive for that government to achieve a lot. And you have mentioned the issue of the stamp duty, which we know has generated a whole lot of controversy. You have also mentioned the issue of the legislative autonomy, signed into law, by the president by virtue of the Executive Order 10. But then you have mentioned the fact that you are about to raise a motion, to see how Lagos State can actually repatriate the sum of 4 trillion naira, which I know is a whole lot of money for us, to actually bring about developmental projects in Lagos State. Now, at that point, what do you think, could, be the stumbling block in order for you to move this motion and eventually the motion scale through to become a law of what Lagos will do to be able to repatriate this money?
No, we don't even need a law. There are plethora of laws. The act of the parliament by the National Assembly. And in those laws, it supports the states. At the time, they gave the function to NIPOS. NIPOS Rinesh, money accrued to the state through that was not given to Lagos State. I was moved. 4 trillion is over 5 years budget of Lagos State. If you can handle 4 trillion naira, Lagos will be developed within 2-3 years. It's humongous. It's a lot of money. So what we need is to bring it to the consciousness of Mr. President, that at the time Mr. President had even awarded a contractor projects on how to retrieve all those money from CBN. NIPS cannot collect our money and be keeping. Their money is ours. The transaction took place in Lagos. And we need to have that money for our further development. More so now that we are having crisis because of this pandemic. We must collect that money. We want to annex our water transportation. It requires a lot of money. We want to do bathymetric survey of our water body at ensuring that those debris do not cause accidents again. It costs a lot of money. After the bathymetric survey, we still need to engage people to remove all those debris on our waterways. We need to buy rolling stock for people, and we have to comply with minimum safety standards. They require a lot of. I am the chairman of the Committee on Finance, and that's why I will move that, because it is our money. It is Lagos money, and Lagos money must be in Lagos. It should not go to Abuja. You imagine CBN borrowed us 8 billion naira for a Greek in Imota. At the cost, it has interest. Meanwhile, CBN is owing us allegedly over 4 trillion naira. How do we now be able to now
justify that?
Support CBN.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense, sir. Wow.
You can't have our money and you will still be lending us money. We don't want you to lend us money. Give us our money. We know how to spend our money. We use our money for developmental purposes. Why are you keeping us our money? And again, you'll be lending us the same money. We are not stupid. But I promise you, we'll get to the end of it. We must retrieve that money. We must use all legal means to retrieve the money, because it is ours.
Thank you so much, sir. Jeremiah, what is your final question to Honorable before we let him go?
Yes, sir, Honorable. Yeah, Honorable, I made a comment about you while you were away. I said I so much love your agility and your broad knowledge about the runnings of government. I really love it, sir. It's hard to see this. So my question for you, Honorable, is that I want to know your advice for young Nigerians, for young youth who desire to be in politics some days, or who have even started the journey. Especially youth in Lagos State, how do you think they can climb up the ladder, the political ladder of them contesting for elections, just like you, and trying to effect a change in a place like Lagos State? What is your advice for Lagos State youth, sir?
Let the youth rules, because it is your world now. We are getting old. Some of us are getting senile. We are not as competitive, as knowledgeable as many of these youths. But the most important thing, you must endure. There will be a lot of frustration there, but you must endure and make yourself visible through community work. Let them appreciate the fact that you are not a selfish people. Because now in Nigeria, everybody wants to be a politician, because they say when you go there, you go and steal money. You aggrandize money to yourself and your family, and you will live in. But if you are not to be a community-oriented person, keep your dream, and your dream will come to fruition one of these days. You can ask Dayo Israel. He has been pursuing his dream, and I know that he has not relented in doing that. I know one day he will make it, because he's one of the models. Very intelligent, he's very exposed, he has international connections, and we want youth like that, so that with their wealth of experience and influence, they can influence greater things to Nigeria. Not we are going. And obviously, you have to take over from us. I don't see myself in politics probably in the next 10, 15 years. I should get tired. And I don't want another person to now take over from me. Let the youth come in, but we must see that that youth is conscientious, is community oriented, is knowledgeable, is computer literate, and more importantly, is selfless. Those are the things. But I will advise you, please, irrespective of what you are facing today, whether the frustration is there, it's only when you allow it to get to you. It will always be there. It's only when you allow that frustration to get to you that it will frustrate you. Don't get frustrated. It's a murky water, but by the grace of God, for especially those of you that are conscientious and want the best for Nigeria, you get it. You get whatever your dreams are, and you take over from us by the grace of Almighty God.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hon Rotimi Olowo, Chairman House Committee on Finance. It's so interesting. The finance of Lagos State is being given to the people that have money, because the Commissioner is Rotimi Olowo. The House Committee on Finance is Rotimi Olowo. I think that there's something that attracts the name Olowo. Maybe I should have that, so they can also give me, trust me, with some money. Thank you so much, Uncle. God bless you.
Thank you for having
My
me.
love to your family. And please keep doing what you're doing to inspire all of us.
I appreciate you. Keep on the good work. You are one of the models. And we are going to bring you to a level that other people will tap from your wealth of experience. It's great having you around.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you at 8 o'clock with the chief whip of the Lagos House of Assembly, Honorable Miranda. God bless you, Honorable Olowo. See everyone at 8 o'clock. See you at 8 o'clock, everyone.